Hello everyone, I'm Via Rail 6452 Rail Productions. Today's video will be a ride video taking the GO Transit commuter bus to Burlington GO Station. This video was supposed to be a ride video on the GO Transit commuter train all the way to downtown Toronto at Toronto's Union Station. The train is roughly 6 to 10 cars long. Due to winter conditions and less tourism around Niagara Falls, no more than at least 50 to 60 people ride the commuter express train every day at 11:45 a.m. I've already purchased my ticket for the entire ride to Burlington GO Station, and I'm going to be transferring to a GO train heading all the way to Union, where I'm going to be getting off.
Highway 420 parking lot. As a reminder, don't forget items or to tap your Presto card as you leave the bus.
As we ride up through Bridge Street, we'll be coming up to the brand new roundabout that has been built since late 2022. Down between Victoria Avenue, Bridge Street, and for a new section for Thorold Stone Road. Our original routes were to be stopping at St Catharines, Aldershot, Burlington, Oakville, Port Credit, and an exhibition where we will be finally getting off at Toronto's Union Station. St Catharines, Aldershot, and Oakville are also shared with Via Rail. GO Transit started service to Niagara Falls in 2010 to 2011, hence the GO identification codes for the routes. 1960 is a weekday early morning train departing at 6:30 a.m. 1961 is the morning return trip back to Niagara Falls, arriving by 11:15 a.m. at the latest. GO 1970 and 1972, which is the weekend and weekday afternoon service back to Union Station, leaving roughly at 12:04 to 1:09 p.m. The extra afternoon service train ID is 1969, which arrives at 3:44 p.m. and departs exactly at 4:04 p.m. Finally, the evening GO IDs are varied on what day it is. 1977, which turns into 1988, is a weekend evening GO train heading back to Union Station, while 1987 and 1988 are weekday evening trains. Now, without further ado, let's continue our trip to Burlington GO. As we turn up off of Bridge Street and onto Stanley Avenue, we'll be making all of our stops alongside of Lake Ontario, as well as the original Lakeshore West line. We'll be stopping at the Stanley Avenue Highway 420 Park and Ride, making our way up to Niagara College, St Catharines Fairview Mall, Ontario Street, QEW Beamsville Park and Ride, Casablanca Boulevard, QEW Park and Ride, Centennial Parkway North, QEW Park and Ride at the Confederation GO Station, which is currently being built at the moment, and we'll also continue our way up to Fairview Street, and then making our final stop at Burlington GO, where I will transfer to another Lakeshore West train, making all the rest of the stops to Union Station at Appleby, Bronte, Oakville, Clarkson, Port Credit, Long Branch, Mimico, Exhibition, and then finally Union Station.
Highway 420 parking lot. As a reminder, don't forget items or to tap your Presto card as you leave the bus. For your safety, only walk into designated areas and stay off bus driveways. Thanks for choosing.
Objets personnels, ni de présenter votre carte Presto avant de descendre de l'autobus. Par mesure de sécurité, ne circulez que dans les zones désignées et évitez les voies de circulation d'autobus. Merci d'avoir choisi GO.
Just before the Niagara Falls Veterans Memorial Highway on Stanley Avenue, an Ontario information site will be actually located just on the road beside you. It'll help you with travel information as a tourist if you're coming to Niagara Falls. It is a glorious place to see sometime in the summertime. If you ever visit Niagara Falls, go check out the falls. It is a beautiful place. Clifton Hill is an amazing spot for all of its attractions and games, and lots of places for fun and games. Now, we're turning onto the Niagara Memorial Highway, where we will be heading up onto the Queen Elizabeth Way, otherwise known as the QEW, heading up to St Catharines, where we will be making our first stop at Niagara College. riding underneath the Grimsby subdivision, which connects with CN, GO, and Via Rail, will be entering St Catharines. I got a little brief history about St Catharines, which I will be sharing in just a brief moment after we leave Niagara College. Some additional information about Lincoln, Beamsville, and Grimsby as well. As we approach the campus for Niagara College, I have a little bit of information from the Niagara College website, as well as their additional information. Niagara College is a post-secondary educational institution in Ontario, offering more than 130 innovative programs between our two modern campuses in Welland and Niagara-on-the-Lake. Niagara College offers its students exciting post-secondary programs that reflect and respond to the key sectors of our region, our province, and the broader global economy. These programs immerse students within a highly experimental learning environment, enhanced by digital technologies. Our campuses provide unique living laboratories and top-notch facilities that deliver hands-on applied learning opportunities at unique on-campus facilities, world-class applied research opportunities at Canada's #1 research college, and smaller class sizes in an intimate and friendly environment. Once we hit the road back onto the QEW heading into intercity St Catharines, we're crossing over Lock 4 at Seaway. There's some brief history that made St Catharines a part of the Niagara region. St Catharines is the most populous city in Canada's Niagara region, the 8th largest urban area in the province of Ontario. As of 2017, St Catharines has an area of 96.13 square kilometers and 140,370 residents. It lies in southern Ontario, 51 kilometers south of Toronto across Lake Ontario, and is 19 kilometers inland from the international boundary with the United States along the Niagara River. It is the northern entrance of the Welland Canal. Residents of the St Catharines area are known as St Catharinettes. St Catharines carries the official nickname the Garden City due to its 1,000 acres of parks, gardens, and trails. Linking Lake Ontario to Lake Erie, the Welland Canal cuts 42 kilometers across Canada's Niagara Peninsula from Port Colborne to Port Weller. A series of 8 locks lift and lower vessels 100 meters up and down and enables maritime clearance to bypass Niagara Falls. Located adjacent to Lock Number 2, the Lawrence Seaway Bridge is also named as Route 83 or Coralton Street. The length of the structure is 18 meters and it is supported by a total of 5 spans. St. Catharines falls within the original territory of the Mississaugas, a treaty signed in 1782 between the Mississaugas and the British government that ceded a large tract of land in which included the St. Catharines area to the Crown for the purpose of European settlement. St. Catharines was settled by Loyalists in the 1780s. The Crown granted land compensation for services and for losses in the United States. Early histories credit the Loyalists Sergeant Jacob Dietrich and Private John Haytener as among the first settlers to come to the area in 1790. They took the Crown Parent Patience, where Dix Creek and the 12-Mile Creek merge, which is now the city center of St Catharines. Historians have speculated that Dix Creek was named after Richard Pierpont, a black loyalist and former American slave. From an oral history account and an events that had taken place around time that would be consistent with him being the source of the name, secondary to water routes, indigenous trails provided transportation networks, in which resulted in the nearby racial road patterns. The surrounding land was surveyed and the townships were created between 1787 and 1789. Lincoln. We're approaching Lincoln now. Earliest known inhabitants was the Neutral Confederacy, also called Ottawaton. Archaeologists from the Royal Ontario Museum found evidence of a neutral escarpment with a longhouse about 2 kilometers east of Beamsville on Cave Springs Farm. Until vandals destroyed about them 30 years ago, there were a number of indigenous faces carved in the stone high on the escarpment wall nearby. The Neutrals were decimated by the Iroquois in 1653. When the first European settlers arrived in 1777, there were only a few semi-migrant native people living in the nearest caves near Beamsville. The earliest European settlers were ex-butlers, rangers who had fought on the side of Britain and the American Revolution. United Empire loyalist Jacob Beam began what is now the town of Beamsville in 1788. Both of his homes, the original one located on 30 Creek, which is now near downtown Beamsville, are still intact today. Senator William Gibson is another key figure in the history of Beamsville. His mansion is now the girls' dorm at Great Lakes Christian College. Beamsville was also home to the annual Lincoln County Agricultural Fair, usually held on for around the weekend of September. This fair was very well known throughout the area and attracted thousands of people every day since the year inspection in 1857. The fair is no longer held in Beamsville since the grounds were sold to become a housing development area. After making our stop in the Beamsville Park and Ride, we're now entering Grimsby. Grimsby is a town on Lake Ontario in the Niagara region. Grimsby is in the eastern end of the Hamilton Census metropolitan area. It is named after the English fishing town of Grimsby in northeast Lincolnshire. The majority of residents reside in the area bounded by the Lake Ontario and the Niagara Escarpment, home to a section of the Bruce Trail. Grimsby has experienced significant growth over the past 2 decades. Due to its position between Hamilton and St Catharines, growth is limited by the natural boundaries of Lake Ontario and the Niagara Escarpment. Some residents feel development is detrimental to the town, as orchards close to the town center are used for residential development. However, most of the orchards in Grimsby were replaced by houses between the 1950s and 1980s, and very few orchards remain. According to a late 2019 report, the town has 33 small parks, 17 larger, and many more green spaces, sports fields, parkettes, trails, and facilities. Some notable attractions in Grimsby are the Grimsby Museum, the Grimsby Public Library, the Grimsby Public Art Gallery, the West Niagara YMCA, the Danish Church, and the hockey arena, which is known as Peach King Centre, home of the Grimsby Peach Kings.
Next stop,
Prochain arrêt.
Casablanca Boulevard at QEW Park and Ride. As a reminder, don't forget items or to tap your Presto card as you leave the bus. For your safety, only walk in the designated areas and stay off bus driveways. Thanks for choosing Go.
À titre de rappel, n'oubliez pas vos objets personnels, ni de présenter votre carte Presto avant de descendre de l'autobus. Par mesure de sécurité, ne circulez que dans les zones désignées et évitez les voies de circulation d'autobus. Merci d'avoir choisi Go.
As we leave Grimsby, we're coming into Hamilton. Hamilton is a port city. Hamilton has a population of 569,353 people as of 2021, and it is the census of the metropolitan area, which encompasses Burlington and Grimsby, which has a population of 785,184 total. The city is situated approximately 45 kilometers southwest of Toronto in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, aka the GTHA. Conceived by George Hamilton when he purchased the Durand Farm shortly after the War of 1812, the town of Hamilton became the center of a densely populated and industrialized region at the west end of Lake Ontario, known as the Golden Horseshoe. On January 1st, 2011, the current boundaries of Hamilton were created through the amalgamation of the original city with another municipality of the Regional Municipality of Hamilton. Residents of the city are known as Hamiltonians. Traditionally, the local economy has been led by the steel and heavy manufacturing industries. During the 2010s, a shift toward the service sector occurred, such as health and sciences. Hamilton is home to the Royal Botanical Gardens, the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, the Bruce Trail, Macmaster University, Mohawk College, and Redeemer University. Macmaster University is ranked 4th in Canada and 69th in the world by Times Higher Education Rankings of 2021. go bus stop is the Centennial Parkway North QEW Park and Ride, which is currently located at the brand new Confederation Go Station, which is still under construction to this day. Once we get out of Centennial Parkway North, we'll be currently on our way to Burlington Go, which is the final stop, and we will be discussing about the Burlington Skyway later in the future.
Next stop,
Prochaine arrêt.
Centennial Parkway North and QEW Confederation Park and Ride.
As we approach the city of Burlington, we will have a little bit more time later in the future as we continue this ride video all the way to Toronto's Union Station. So from here on out, we will see you in part 2. This is Via Rail 6452 Rail Productions signing off. Thank you for watching.